budget knives are getting better and better every year. And honestly, 2024 feels like the year of the budget knife. There's so many good things coming out that are in what I would consider around or under $100, which is in the nature of pocket knives more in the budget range. Even with that being said, some of the quote higher end stuff in the 300s is insane right now, but I'm really impressed with the budget stuff. So, my name is Brad, and welcome back to Screaminpirate EDC. Today we're taking a look at 4 different budget knives. I'll just say 4. It's going to be 2 from Reate and 2 from Civivi. Really, really good. Really liking them and enjoying my time with them. Not going to make you guys wait any longer. Let's go ahead and head top down. And we are top down. Now, what knives are we taking a look at today? Let me go ahead and move the mug out of the way, you guys. First up, the Civivis. This is the Starflare and the new Bluetick. Really enjoying both of these. Very, very well done. And on the Reate side, we have the PLXs. One is with thumb studs and one is with a flipper tab. Now, there is a bonus one in here that I will show, but I don't know how many people it's going to appeal to. This is the EXO utility. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and show this one off right now because, like I said, it's very niche in my opinion. But if you love it, you're going to love it. So, just like the EXO, you have basically a gravity. And this actually is a lock, which I really do like that there is a lock on here now. So it is unlocked, as you can see. When it is locked, I cannot open that. Something I wish the original would have had, but there you go. And you get a utility blade. Now, as you can tell, I've already used this one a little bit. Yeah, really nice, very compact, not very big at all, but will definitely do the task if that's what you're looking for, and has a pocket clip. Really do like to see that. So let's go ahead and move that one out of the way. Like I said, that's just a highlight of one. Now, as far as specs on all of these, I will have specs up on the screen whenever I show them in a little bit. So let me go ahead and talk about them one by one. Let's start out with the Reates. Now, the thumb stud is a little bit smaller than the flipper. Not by much, but it is a little smaller. I like it in hand, but as you'll see with both of them, they are on the heavier side. Now, what makes the PLX interesting is that it's coming in around, I want to say $125-ish, give or take, but you have this great button pivot lock, the PL, and that actually locks it open. I cannot move that blade. Really nice. Now, the one thing is, you cannot lock it closed. I have discovered that, but action is nice, smooth. You just press in on the pivot there. Let me get to focus up. Press down right there. And as you can tell, operates just like a button lock. It releases the blade, so you can pinch it open and close just like that. Really nice. I like the reversible clip as well. So, have the thumb stud out of the way, let's talk about the flipper. So, I said the flipper was a little bit bigger. Well, as you can see, and I'm going to do more size comparisons in a bit, guys. I can talk. Little bit bigger, but the flipper does fit better in hand for me. I do have a little bit more space, and I can choke up. I am really close to the blade, but I can. Once again, locks open, cannot move that blade. Pinch close. Now, I personally think that the flipper has a little bit better action overall. Personal preference. Now, before we even get into this, I'm going to go ahead and talk about blade thickness here. A lot of people are saying these blades are super thick and they wish it was hollow ground. For this specific use case of a knife, I do not. The reason is I really do think they want these to be a budget-friendly hard use folder. Because you can lock this open, you can really bear down on this knife and put in a fair bit of work, especially with it being flat grind all the way down and a little bit thicker stock. So if you wish it would be a thinner blade or you wish a different size, let me know down below. So let's go ahead and move these off the table before I do any size comparisons, and let's bring up the Civivis here. So first up, I have the Starflare. Now, love the name. I like the cool comets here on the aluminum. That is nice. The oversized pivot really isn't for me, but it is for some, and I'll leave it at that, guys. And I really do like the blade here. Now, once again, I believe this is, yes, it is a flat grind. It is a standard button lock. Really smooth, actually. As you can tell, not a whole lot of stick. I've had very little out of the box. It does fit fairly well in hand. You can choke up if you want to. Yeah, it's been a joy to carry. Nice and thin. Yeah, overall pretty good. And then finally, let's bring up the Bluetick. So this is from my friends over at Keynison. As you guys know, I love everything Keynison puts out. I'm a fanboy. I can't help it. If you didn't pick up the Basset Hound, that's on you. I told you to pick one up. I was the only one that reviewed it, I think. Well, you should have bought one. This is also based on a custom. Now, this is going to be thinner and lighter than the Bluetick custom. They should have one at Blade Show. I'm going to try to have both of these on the table in front of me at Blade Show so you can see those in a couple months. But overall, really cool. I love all the configurations. I think this is the best looking one. So there is some G10 ones, and I think there might be a satin or a stonewash or a black blade. But this in the wood with a wood back spacer and this Damasteel, I think it is a Damasteel, is just really killer. Fits fantastic in a large glove. I can choke up. I'm not a huge fan of this like semi-sharpening slash finger choil, but that's a preference. I know that. Just a hair of lock stick out of the box. Nothing crazy. But we have all those specs out of the way. Let's do some size comparisons. I know all of these are fairly new knives to the market, so I want you guys to kind of get an idea for some budget comparisons slash knives that are around this price point. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one up here. Let me go ahead and set the Starflare down here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a few knives that I put between these two so you can kind of see that size comparison. So first up is going to be the Vision. This is my favorite budget knife from last year. Also a Civivi, obviously. Yeah, I mean, it's around the size of the Bluetick. If you like the Vision, you'll like the Bluetick, I think, as far as size. Now, thickness-wise, it is a little bit thicker than these, but not by too terribly much. So let me go ahead and tuck that one out of the way. After that, let me grab one that is a little bit more because these are coming in at around, I want to say $60, $70 for these. This is going to be the Para 3 Lightweight. So lightweight is smaller than these, but Para 3 Lightweight, they can come in around $100-ish, depending on configs, etc. So let me go ahead and put that one away. After that, another one that, no, not this one in particular, but a very popular around $100 knife is going to be the Bug Out. Now, the Bug Out is smaller than both of these, but you would be surprised. The Bluetick, very similar in weight. So let me go ahead and grab him. And we're going to grab some more budget knives that hopefully everyone is familiar with. This is going to be the Beg Knives Astio. Now, I really like this comparison next to the Bluetick because they are very, very similar, especially in blade. If you don't know this one, I love the Astio for Beg Knives for right around 200, or say 200, right around $100. So let me go and tuck that away. After that is one of my favorite budget knives. I believe it wasn't last year, but the year before. This is the Penguin. Now, Penguin is smaller than both of these, but gives you a rough estimate. And then finally, we're going to bring out the Ontario Reates. This is going to be the R2D2 that I have had customized, and then the Rat Model 1. So let me go ahead and set the one there, guys. Obviously bigger than both of these, not terribly bigger than the Bluetick. So now I'm going to do this all back in same knives over with the Reates. So let me go ahead and tuck these out of the way over here. So we have the thumb stud PLX on the bottom, the flipper on the top, both smaller than a Rat 1. Now let's grab the R2D2 and put that next to these. The R2D2 is almost exactly the same as the thumb stud. They're basically the same size. If you like the R2D2, you want something a little more heavy duty, there you go. Now, I believe I mentioned price on these. If I did not, I'll go ahead and have it up on screen. These are coming in right around $125 the last I personally checked. So after that, let's go ahead and grab the Penguin. There you go. Penguin is very similar to the thumb stud. Let's grab the Astio from Beg Knives. Kind of scrunched in there, but a little bit bigger than your flipper on the PLX. And now let's grab the Bug Out and the Para 3. So here is your Bug Out. Little bit bigger than the thumb stud. And not that much smaller than the flipper. And then here's our Para 3. Para 3 is very similar to the thumb stud. You can really see who their target market is there with that one. And then finally, the Vision R, I believe, from Civivi, almost exactly the same as the flipper. So, have all the size comparisons out of the way. Let's talk about my feelings on these. I'm going to go ahead and do it in pairs, just like I did the size comparisons for you guys. So, before I jump into these, let me just mention the EXO again, the EXO utility. It's cool. I like that they're doing something different. I like that there's a pocket clip. I like that there's a lock on it. It's not 100% for me, but I have found it useful. I don't know that I would use it more than any other blade in the collection, but if you use a utility blade a whole lot and you just really like this style, it's great. I like the hexing. I like the grip on here. It is a little bit small for my hand, but not too bad, especially for some, quick cuts that you would do with a utility blade. So I'm going to go ahead and put him out of the way now that I've touched on that one. Now, as far as the PLXs, I like them. I do. Please don't take this as I don't. They are heavy. Even despite all of this milling, as you can see, it goes all the way through. They are weighty. And it shows. So whenever you are picking them up, they just feel heavier than you think they would. Let me go ahead and kick on the scale. I know I already had stats up, but just to kind of make the point here, the thumb stud, 4.1. That's heavy for a knife that big. 5.3 on the flipper. Yeah, I mean it is fairly hefty. I mean, in comparison to that, I said the rat model R2D2 was the same as the stud. Yeah, see 2.7 compared to a 4.1, it really does feel like a heftier blade there. And so that is something to note. Now, I like the stud placement. I've had no problem with actuating it open with my thumb, reverse flick, pinching open close is nice. I do get a little bit of stick in there, but all button style locks do have that. I was a little thrown off by how thick this was at first, but the more I use this, the more I like it. Now, do I like the flipper more? Yes, because this one barely fits in my hands. I really do have to choke up here, and it just feels a little bit cramped. It is a lot better in a smaller hand like my wife's. So just to note, if you have a large glove, it's going to feel a little bit small, but it is a great little, around $100 utility knife. I do like it for that. I like the contouring they have here on the G10, and they have a bunch of micarta options. Yeah, they've done a ton of options, ton of colors, which is nice to see. In and out of the pocket, I've had no problem. Good spring on that clip. Yeah, overall, it is good. If I have a complaint, it's going to be that this one's a little bit small for me, and they're a little bit heavier than I want them to be. Now, onto the flipper. Like I said, very heavy boy, but the action is honestly pretty damn stellar for the price. I don't know of another knife around this price point that has a button lock style, this good action, this smooth. Even the Starflare, I'm like, I could fidget with this all day, just all damn day. Very, very good. Like the size, but once again, it's a little bit hefty. So if you're looking for a heavier, harder use knife, they're good. I think they're really good. I think if you like a colorway and you find one, I think I saw like a black micarta and red, which is awesome. If you like it, I say you go ahead and pick these up. Overall, I do like them. They are plunders for me, but I wanted to make some of my, I guess, picking points, or I'm being picky, make those points known. Now, let's go ahead and grab the two Civivis and we can wrap up with these. Now, the Starflare. I really have to push that stud out. Yeah, that button really holds on, and I think maybe it's just a geometry thing. In hand, I don't know. The oversized pivot, you can use it. It's not super comfortable, but it's not uncomfortable. I have had no problems with stick though. So there is a little bit there. Yeah, just a little bit of stick, but nothing horrendous. And for around the, I believe it was around $60 price point, I like it. I do. And I think that if you are a button lock fan, a true blue button lock fan, not you don't want it on a pivot, this is a solid offering from Civivi. I really like it because it is a Warncliffe style, and I'm a sucker for that blade style. Now, is this one I would buy myself over, say, anything else on the table? That I'm not sure of. I'm kind of indifferent because when you say aluminum button lock, I think honestly, guys, of the Malibu, and obviously this is a half or a third the price of the Malibu, which is a great thing. So if you're not sure if you like a Malibu, maybe this is a good choice for you. For me personally, I probably wouldn't pick one up. This is probably going to walk the plank for me. Now on to the Bluetick. Bluetick is fantastic. I've been carrying this. It is lightweight, and when I say it weighs diddly shit, I mean it weighs nothing. It's kind of ridiculous. Cool. 3 ounces. Just over 3 ounces. Okay? Guys, the bug out is renowned for being super lightweight. Obviously, this is the aluminum one. We're at 2.5. Look at your size difference. You're getting roughly the same blade there, but like that handle is bigger. You're going to notice. I mean, I you're going to notice the difference with the Bluetick. You really are. I didn't think that I would personally, but I am. Now, as far as my gripe, this, I guess, sharpening slash finger choil, if I really tuck my finger, it's fine, but I have to really be conscious of it there. Do I wish it was one way or the other, whether it was, less of finger choil, more sharpening? I'm not really sure, but it's a nitpick for me. Also, this clip, I know it's the Civivi clip, but because it's against the wood, you get all this weird creaky sounds and it moves a lot. And yeah, it bothers me, but does it bother me enough not to like it? No. Yeah, this is really good. Wood backspacer. Been a long time since I've seen a wood backspacer, and I don't know the last time I saw one on a budget blade. This coming in at, I want to say just under 100, like I want to say that the G10 are $60 or so. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And you're supporting a custom maker as well that's out of Texas, American made guys. They're doing great stuff out there. I think of the bunch of these, the Bluetick is my favorite. It is 100% the one that is going to be keeping in my collection permanently. Let's go ahead and set all these back out here for you. So we have the PLXs, the Bluetick, and the Starflare. Let me know if this was informative to you. Let me know down below which one you would pick.